I'm going to be sitting like that with off your hunchback.
See, if I need to concentrate on driving, this is going to be hectic. This is.
Leah, we're in your car and we're bringing back car rides for the first time this season. Just so we're going to go a wee story about Mulgai. Just first and foremost, obviously, driving into these gates every single day as a full-time Rangers player. Obviously, here before you're here before as a part-time player, but what's it like driving into those gates every day as a full-time Rangers player?
It's obviously completely different from the last time that I was at Rangers. Even the facilities and the resources that they've got now. I always knew that when I was at Rangers part-time, I wanted to be at the club when they had reached the full-time environment, and just coming in every day and knowing what we're going in to do and meetings and training and gym and stuff, it's really good. And the group of girls and coaching staffs create a really good environment, so I love coming in here every day.
What was it like training back then compared to now? Like, I presume you had to train at night and stuff like that, and obviously the facilities would be so much better.
Yeah, so it was at night time, so I think we had obviously had to train after maybe the boys, and we were getting home maybe at like 10, 11 at night, go to school the next day and then travelling back through the next day at night. So now it's quite good that we're in the morning during the day, and then you've got your night times to do whatever you want to do outside of football. So it's completely different, but it's nice just being in the same building and familiar surroundings. I used to go to a wee local pitch at mine. The pitch was tiny. It was wee small goals that you would maybe use in training now that was actually the net we were trying to find. So probably just playing fun fours and enjoying doing that, and then maybe going and playing with the age above at 7-a-sides, and then playing a tournament like the next day. I just played at every opportunity and loved just going to different age groups and playing against the boys and having fun with my friends.
What sort of made you get into football?
I actually hated everything else at school, so I was my mum was trying to get me into dancing and swimming and basketball and stuff, and I was just so quiet as a wee girl and wasn't really interested, and then got a leaflet at school for football, and I went back and says, "Mum, can you please phone them up, I want to go and try football," and she was on the phone straight away. She was buzzing. So since then I've just played football with the school and then my local team, and then progressed on from there. I stay in Falkirk and it was my local team at the time, so all my friends from school was there and made it much easier, and just being young and going to training around the corner and back for dinner and going to your bed was ideal at that time, but then things changed quite quick. But I wouldn't change my football journey if I had the opportunity to. It transitioned into a team called Central Girls, which was still local for me, so it was really handy, go to training and stuff, and then obviously I've came from Hibs, so I was there for 5.5 years, and now I'm here signed till 2026.
So you obviously made the move to Hibs. Being from Falkirk, what sort of kind of sacrifices did you have to make? Obviously I'd imagine you trained at night, you'd have to get lifts and stuff like that. I presume your parents obviously played a big part in your career.
Yeah, growing up, obviously I had to rely on my mum and dad taking me to training, and getting them to make my dinner before I'd went, come back, shower, then wake up, take me to school and stuff. But when I was at Hibs, I was driving, so it was much easier. But the training at night time was a wee bit more difficult, obviously, because you're then having to do your college or your work during the day and then go to training, come back and then go to your work again. So being in a full-time environment now allows you to focus on your football a lot more, and it definitely makes it a lot easier.
And before we sort of continue your career path, did you have like any sort of idols or players you like looked up to at a young age, thought you wanted to be like them one day? Yeah,
we always had like female players visiting and coming and doing our presentation nights and stuff, and I've always really looked up to Kim Little. Everything that she done, I would always keep an eye out for, and had the opportunity to go to a Scotland camp with her, so I learnt a lot from her, and it was nice to just see the difference between when she was growing up and where I was currently at.
And you mentioned going on a Scotland camp with her. What's it sort of like sharing the dressing room with those types of players, and when you do go away with Scotland, there's so much talent in the dressing room as well?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I just try and take each day as it comes and try and put my piece into training and help the girls prepare for the games coming up and try and make a good impression of myself when I get the opportunity. So I really enjoy it and learning a lot from the girls. Really does help, like coming back to club or even going back to the 23s and bringing that experience back and sharing it with the younger age group.
What's it sort of like? You mentioned Kim Little idolising those types of players, and I guess it's like a full circle time on coming up against them in the Champions League as well. It was a game you played midfield as well too. Yeah,
I was actually playing against her that game. To be honest, like when I'm in a game environment, everything else really like disappears. But after the game and had the wee conversation with her, so it was nice. But I think just growing up, I would never imagine that I was going to be playing a Champions League game against Arsenal. So I'd probably say that's one of the most exciting and biggest games I've played in my football career.
With Hibs going into full time, was that just sort of cemented it for you that you want to do this as your career, and then obviously you've got a full time move to Rangers as well?
Yeah, I think it was such a big thing for the club going from part time to full time, having the women's side and training while the men were, and I think just when that happened, I thought to myself that I would really like to make a living out of football, and it was just focusing on trying to cope with the full time environment in that moment, and then it was never what am I going to do now that I'm full time. But when this opportunity came up to come to Rangers, it was one that I couldn't turn down, and I'm really happy with the decision that I made.
And obviously you mentioned going back to Hibs, just reflecting on your time there as a whole. Obviously I can imagine it's shaped your career and made you the player you are today. How would you sort of reflect on your time at Hibs?
I loved it. I was obviously there for 5.5 years, which is such a long time. You're spending time with all the girls and staff probably more than what you're spending with your family, so you need to really make sure that you enjoy what you're doing. And my time at Hibs, I loved every second. Obviously going from that part-time into full-time was a big step for the club, and I'm really happy that I was there while that transition was made, and it's made me the player that I am today and really helped me develop as a player and push on, and yeah, I loved every minute of it.
And obviously coming back to Rangers full-time, I'd imagine there was conversations with Joe, like Sir Donald and stuff. What was the initial contact like? How were you feeling potentially being able to come back in a full-time environment?
Yeah, so I'd spoke to Joe and Donald, came through to the training centre, seen the facilities, and spoke about what I could potentially bring to the club and what I felt in that moment. Obviously it's hard having conversations like that when you're playing in a different team in the league and you're playing against each other, and but it's conversations that you have to have, and I think as long as you're doing it in the right way and communicating and keeping everyone in touch, it's always going to be fine from both ends. But I think obviously not winning any cups or having that experience before is something that I definitely want to do in my career, and with the team being so successful last year and pushing to be even more successful this season, it's something that I definitely wanted to be a part of, and hopefully we're on the right tracks to doing that.
Friendships you'll make in football, the likes of Kirsty Howard, I know you've got a strong bond on and off the pitch. What was it like, firstly breaking the news that you were coming back to Rangers, but how did the friendship come about with Kirsty?
So we actually stayed together in Edinburgh at the Performance Academy. She was diagonally across from me, so at night or in the morning we would always just be running in each other's room and having dinner together, obviously going to training, coming back, and spending basically every night together. So that's how our friendship came about, and obviously coming to Rangers and her being here has made it so much easier for me, having someone that I can go to and lean on if I need it. But obviously just having one of your best friends in your team is always a bonus. So when I told her, she was buzzing. Obviously I had to keep it quiet for a wee bit, but I held my tongue for as long as I could and I told her, but she was buzzing, so was I.
And you mentioned the friendship with Kirsty. Obviously you'd build strong relationships with your teammates, you've settled in really well at the club. What sort of stuff have you been doing away from the pitch because I can imagine bonding away from the pitch is only going to help you on it?
Yeah, no, I think it's such a close group. Like after training every day, everyone's saying, oh, do you want to go and do this, do you want to go a walk, do you want to go and get coffee? So I think that really helps doing that off the pitch, because when you come into training you're speaking about your night or you're speaking about what you've done yesterday, and all the chat isn't just about football. But I think just coming into such a close environment where all the girls are so together, it made it so easy for me to come in and just focus on my football, because I knew that everything off the pitch was going to be fine as soon as I joined. But I really enjoy being away from football and spending time with the girls and the team, as well as being in the football environment.
Looking on the outside, obviously the team do what they do on the pitch. Jo, obviously everyone sees how well she's doing, but there's people behind the scenes like Haji and stuff, and I know he's got a real great relationship with the players. What's he like to be around?
He's really good as well. I think obviously every coach brings something different. I really enjoy learning from them both. Obviously both ex-players and played in different leagues and had different experiences growing up, so I learn a lot from them both, and it's how they create a really nice environment for the players to be in, and learning from them on and off the pitch, doing your wee bits of analysis here and there. It really helps, and they both provide really good support when you're needing individual help, but as a team as well. So I really enjoy training and playing under them both.
Obviously the competitiveness in the last few years, Celtic, Glasgow City being up there, but you see even the likes of Hibs and Hearts are right up there. The result of the weekend, just for instance, how much more competitive do you feel the league is? And you did obviously have the 2 disappointing results before the winter break. You have rectified that, but how competitive do you feel it has been part of? It's
been really competitive. I think it's really good in a way, because it brings the teams much closer together. We're going into a split where any team can move in any position like in 1 week, so I think just having that competitiveness every week is going to help grow the league, the fans, every team that's involved, and it's really good to see that teams that have went full time and have had a couple of years of doing that are really getting the rewards now, and the league's become more competitive and enjoyable for everyone involved.
Scottish Cup action this weekend, Montrose. It's a competition the club won for the first time in their history last season. That must just be a real ambition to go and retain that as well.
Yeah, I think so. We're obviously playing Montrose at the weekend that we've played in the league, so we know what they're going to bring, and it'll be a tough game. Every cup game is, and we'll just be looking to get to the next stage of the cup and putting ourselves in a really good position to get to another cup final and focus on just Sunday coming and then back to league action after that.
I know you won't want to look too far ahead, but just your ambitions for 2025. You've got a cup final in a couple of months, you're right in a league title race, Scottish Cup this weekend. There's just so much to play for, isn't it?
Yeah, I think probably just focusing on one game at a time is the best way forward, but like looking forward, I think it'd be wrong to say you don't want to win the treble, so we'll be looking to do that, and hopefully we can then progress further in the cup this Sunday.
All good. Nice.
Ben!